As Congress returns from Thanksgiving recess this week, the debate over aid for Ukraine and Israel returns to the table. Yahoo Finance's senior columnist Rick Newman is here to break down the potential ripple effects awaiting the U.S. Rick.
Hey guys, we have not been hearing so much from Ukraine with the Israeli war against Hamas and worries about a broader Middle East war obviously dominating the headlines. But things are not going great in Ukraine. And we're seeing, part of the evidence of that is that Congress seems stuck on whether to provide more aid for Ukraine. And now we have isolationist Republicans in charge of the House of Representatives. Maybe they will provide more aid for Ukraine, and maybe they won't. President Biden wants another $64 billion, but so far that has not been forthcoming. And if there is any more money forthcoming, it probably won't be that much. So in the meanwhile, what people may have missed as Russia is really getting off the mat here. They have really been able to stop Ukraine from making any progress at all in this offensive that began over the summer and basically has wound down. I mean, I think the basic storyline here is that all the Western equipment the United States and Europe provided, tons of tanks, tons of armor, it just came too late. Russia had 6 to 12 months to build these defenses in place. And it turns out Ukraine was just not able to get through those. And now Russia's whole economy is basically mobilizing for war. The amount that they're spending on defense and national security is rising from 4% of GDP to 10% of GDP. And here in the West, we're now starting to wring our hands and say, is this all worth it? So Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, his big gamble here is that the West is just going to lose interest. And I'm sorry to say that there does seem a chance that he could turn out to be right about that.
Are there elements in Congress who are, going to be successful or who are strongly pushing for that aid, Rick?
I mean, this is kind of an infuriating situation in Congress because there are majorities when you put both parties together. There are bipartisan majorities in both the Senate and the House that say, yes, they do favor more aid for Ukraine. Maybe not necessarily that whole $64 billion Biden is asking for, but I think Biden asked for more than he expected to get. That was sort of his opening bid. But, Mike Johnson now represents the sort of super conservative, sort of isolationist, ultranationalist wing of the Republican Party, and that's where we're stuck. So maybe this aid will go through, but we're seeing similar problems in Europe. I mean, Europe has it's been trouble. It's been difficult to motivate public support for the biggest, the most important weapon Ukraine says it needs. I mean, they still don't have fighter jets. They're still considered too risky to give them because of whatever a backlash might come out of Russia. They barely have any of these long-range missiles. The United States gave them some of these. I think there were 2 strikes with these long-range missiles. Basically, it looks like that was just symbolic. So, I mean, the big picture here, guys, is this war is going to go on for a long time, and Russia's not giving up. 300,000 casualties, whatever the number is in Russia, it's huge. And this has not undermined Putin's ability to wage this war, whereas here in the West, we're saying, oh, we're getting tired of this. It's inconvenient. We should be focusing more on the southwest border, which is, that's a false dichotomy. We can do more than one thing at once. But we need to stiffen our resolve here.